If the fence rests, let's lay it down. Gonna dig deep, wave that verdict round. The defense rests, time to analyze. With the evidence, we'll unveil the crime. Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule at the defense rests.
Good morning, my lovelies. How are we? Welcome back to the Defence Rests. Good morning, Anna. How are you, sweetheart? I'm sorry I'm late. What my brain tells my body to do and what my body actually does are two completely different things. So, how did we end up yesterday? How are you, sweetheart? Did you end up watching the full rest of the day? I watched the rest of it this afternoon whilst I was doing other work, and man, oh man, I don't think I've seen bullshit come off someone's lips so easily. just constant spewed. At first she started with Evelyn's with the baby daddy. Then it was mum's taken her to where was it? Mendola in a silver camper. And then it was Maggie and an angel. So yeah, no accountability whatsoever. And then at the end, after the police had shown their interviews and done all that, then they showed her actual TV interview in February before, like in 2020. So when Evelyn was still missing, this was in the February. So she had gone missing in the December, and this is the following February, and she's telling everyone that her mum's taken her to Mendola, and that if the police don't do anything about it, then she's going down there herself to get her back. And she had someone there with her, and I think it was actually, they mentioned it in the police interviews. I think her name was Christine, and she had a daughter who Megan was friends with, and she passed away. And the police were actually saying in the interview that Christine had been burning their phone up trying to find out what's happening with regards to finding Evelyn. And they were saying that, in comparison, they hadn't heard anything from Megan. So yeah, it was just one lie after another, and she actually got caught. She did I'm about to upload it, but watching the police interviews again, she actually, good morning, sweetheart. What a beautiful, I just saw your email. What a beautiful ducky in the snow. That's pretty as. I'll try and upload it in a second. Yeah, she actually does make a subconscious admission of guilt in there, in that she doesn't actually answer a question. She diverts from it. It's interesting, but yes, I will put that up shortly. I couldn't find my phone. It was out with the sprinklers, and I hung it on one of the tomato trellises actually, and actually put the sprinkler on it because yeah, it's been one of those days. So yes, we ended up yesterday with that media interview that she did, and it was just lies. Lie. So, back on day 6. Be interesting to see who they have on the cards today. Actually, I might be able to have a quick look, see who's up, because they started about, well, how far back are we? About 15 minutes. No, nothing in the notes yet. That's all right. We'll find out soon enough, won't we? Let's get into it, shall we? Not that one. That one. That'll do.
Well,
Oh,
there's also statement.
hang on. Change my settings. I've got it on my monitor still. And not in my ears.
Barter judge. Which was 1994.
Yep. Not much else other than
Correct. Well, Barter talks about the fact it's rare and
We'll
it's like,
we'll take that up when we get back from lunch.
okay, thank you.
If you all make me copies of cases or email.
Would you prefer an email?
Oh,
That's fine. Okay. Is the state ready to proceed?
we are, Judge.
Bench ready to proceed?
Yes, sir. Actually, if you had a copy of that agreement, I don't have Barker. I'd give it to you.
Oh, gee.
Well, no, for the judge.
Oh,
I said I was emailing.
no. Just my approach.
Yeah.
And I've emailed the Wilhoit case to you.
I can get it 2 or 3 times.
I understand.
I called Susan Jones. That's the case she found.
The law in that area does not seem to be very well developed. But
Well, it's a use of discretion.
Here we go. Hello, Ducky. Hello. Oh, it's not a duck, is it? What is it? Looks like half duck, half pigeon. This is Teresia's house. They had a little bit of snow. Just a little bit. Looks absolutely divine. Oh, hello, kitty. Hello. You got snow on you. Oh. And the water bowl's frozen. It's funny. Good morning, Christine. How are you, doll? So have you hit the rains again, Teresia? Or it does look gorgeous, doesn't it? It does. Looks picturesque. I know it's probably freezing, but it does look nice. All right. Let's I don't know what they're on about here. Let's get on with it. Call the witness.
There's 2 ways that you can form intent or knowing. You've got nature of the conduct.
Oh, they doing jury instructions? Really? No.
The jury's ready.
Excellent.
If you want to get your next witness headed this way, General.
Criminal investigation.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You are Christopher Wilhoit, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And
Christopher Wilhoit.
where are you employed?
I'm employed with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
And what is your position there?
I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Johnson City Criminal Investigation Division
And how long have you been employed with the TBI?
since 2001.
What was your assignment back in February of 2020?
Same assignment. I was the Assistant Special Agent in charge of that unit and working on the Evelyn Boswell case.
Okay. Well, you anticipated my next question. So you did in fact assist the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office in their investigation into the disappearance of Evelyn Boswell.
Yes, sir.
All right. And what was your role as far as within the TBI or in that investigation?
Just participated in the investigation in any way possible. We also had a case agent that was assigned to the case, a number of agents that also worked on the case. And I was here to, for lack of a better term, lend a hand and help in any way possible.
All right. Specifically, I want to draw your attention to February the 23rd of 2020. Did you encounter the defendant, Megan Boswell, on that day?
Yes, sir.
And did you have an opportunity to speak with her?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you would kind of tell the jury what the circumstances around you talking with Miss Boswell.
So I was at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office that day. Miss Boswell had been interviewed that day, and following her interview, she left and went downstairs. I walked downstairs, or I guess I took the elevator downstairs and went outside where she was located, and merely asked her if she was waiting on a ride. And at that point, she began talking to me about Evelyn. So I asked her if she wouldn't mind coming back inside and if I could take a statement from her.
All right. Now, where all this occurs, this over here at the sheriff's office?
Yes, sir.
Sullivan County Sheriff's Office.
Right as you walk out the front door there, it's kind of a ramp that goes down, and she was standing against those bars there.
Okay. That's right around the corner from where we are right now here in Blumpville, Sullivan County, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You mentioned that she began speaking with you. Did she know who you were?
I don't know. I at some point in time, I'm confident she knew that I was with the TBI or that I was law enforcement.
Okay. Did you identify yourself to her?
Yeah. At some point in time, I told her, that I was Chris Wilhoit and I was with TBI.
All right. And I think you said this earlier, but when you actually went to speak with Miss Boswell, where did you go? Where over in the building did you all talk?
I went back upstairs because I asked her to come back into the lobby, and I went back upstairs to get a pad, a piece of paper to write on, and writing to her a pen. And so I came back downstairs and I sat in the lobby and talked to her there.
Okay. So this was downstairs, not upstairs in the interview rooms. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Kind of tell the jury how this interview process went about. How did you conduct the interview with Miss Boswell?
Well, I don't know that it's I don't know that this is the correct term, but I call it a cognitive interview. And so what I try to do is just ask her kind of what happened. And when I do, I try to get the details to the nth degree, if I can, just, to find out, just so that there's nothing missing, just so we can find out what happened.
So did you write that down as you were speaking with Miss Boswell?
I did, sir.
All right. And did you record this interview?
I did.
Okay. How did you record it?
I had a digital tape recorder, or digital recorder. It's not a tape recorder, digital recorder.
Okay. So you recorded it audio only. Is that correct?
Well, recorded it on paper and recorded it audio.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess to be a little more specific, there was no video recording of this.
No, sir, there wasn't.
Okay. You had a chance to listen to that recording of the interview that you did with Miss Boswell?
Yeah, yes, sir.
And the recording that you listened to, was it a true and accurate recording of your interview with her on February the 23rd of 2020?
Yes, sir.
All right. Judge, I would move to make that an exhibit at this time.
No, sir.
Be exhibit 228.
Audio recording.
Yes, Judge. I would ask at this time to publish that to the jury.
Okay. Yeah.
February 23rd, 11:22 p.m. I have been sitting down across from you the whole time. What's your full name?
Megan Boswell.
Megan,
Yeah. N-I-C-O-L-E.
Nicole. What's your date of birth?
3/21/01. That girl that hung out with my mom went missing the same time Evelyn did. What if my mom gave her to her? Well, what if you find her and she doesn't want to get Evelyn back?
I'm just trying to make sure. I'm just being honest with you. Is, do you know that's what happened?
Oh, you know, but they went missing around the same time.
Who did?
That Steffi girl, I never knew her name, just like I would see her in the car with my mom sometimes. I'm pretty sure they did drugs together, to be honest with you.
Okay.
My mom doesn't really hang out with a lot of people.
You told me right outside here. That on the 14th and the 16th.
Yeah.
So tell me what happened.
Okay, I just wanted a break. So I kept Evelyn for.
So did you call your mom? Okay. Do you remember what day it was? Was it?
I don't, to be honest with you.
Tell me what had happened that day. Why it was that you decided on that day you wanted a break?
I was just really tired, going to work every day and coming back. I just wanted a break.
So where was your baby at? Had been staying at before while you were going, you were working at the chicken shack?
Yeah. Either with the mommy or babysitter.
So I was working at the chicken shack. My mom or my
Oh, mommy.
old mommy.
No, I mean, oh, mommy for the first one. Or babysitter. I'm sorry.
Okay. Old mommy or babysitter.
I don't know, there's a couple times my mom did watch Evelyn just because like her and mom and then we go. Was old mommy keeping the child all the way up to the 14th or the 16th? I went back and forth between people because sometimes she wouldn't feel good and like sometimes babies were gonna watch her and it was just a mess.
But she kept her
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Can we just start there and then get this over with?
yeah.
Okay. I called my mom just because I wanted a break. She told me that I don't know what we were going to do that night.
Call my mom. A break. This was sometime between December 14 and 16. So did your mom come to where you were, which was where?
And she wasn't supposed to know I was staying there, so I didn't want her around. He told me if she came over and like that I couldn't stay there anymore and he wouldn't like help me out or anything like that.
Okay, to my trailer. How did you call your mom? All right, what phone number did she have?
It was whatever Jude's number is now.
Jude?
Yeah.
A phone. And the number.
I I don't remember anymore, to be honest with you.
Just the number.
She's had like 10 different phones since then, and I just,
Jude, who's Jude?
this guy that they live with.
Good morning, Udaher.
You don't remember the number?
How are you, darling?
I'm sorry, like, she's had 10 different numbers since then, and I remember 3 of them, the rest of them just like, I just don't remember.
So you called her? What time was it she came over?
Not time. It wasn't too long after I was working, it was like 7.
So you got off work?
Yeah.
And you went over to the trailer?
Mhm.
The trailer.
I happen to find Evelyn, I'm gonna get her back, or if the person wants to speak to
Let's work on finding her. Okay,
her.
I will. I'll do my best to find out what we can do. I got off work and went to the trailer. That's where you called your mom from?
I thought I went to work. My car, well, the cruise had
The way
like,
home from work?
yeah, it had like a touch screen where, you know, you could just hit like phone, contacts, whatever, like you didn't have to like pick up your cell phone. You know what I'm saying?
You had the number that you had back then. What was the number?
My 579 number. Like I said, my car had like a touch screen where, you know, you could plug your phone up and it'd be like contacts, calls, like, you know what I'm talking about? They had like Apple Play in the car.
Absolutely. I called.
The cameraman's got a bug.
Okay, I told her this morning break. I was supposed to get one next day.
You mean you're supposed to get it the next day
Supposed to pick her up the next day.
from your mom?
Mm-hmm.
So mom comes over there. What's she driving? Who's she with?
She's with Will. I don't remember what car they were in, to be honest with you. It was dark. It was a little sedan, if that matters for me.
Who's with?
Her boyfriend. You know that.
Will? What's his last name? Small sedan. Color? You know anything? What color was it?
It was a dark car, and it was not home. My porch light didn't work at the time, so I didn't like it. I came in the door for maybe like 10 seconds, handed Evelyn to her, and then went back in.
Your mom didn't come in and try it?
Mhm.
So what was Evelyn wearing when what was your mom?
I already told you about that little pink,
I wasn't in there.
this little hot pink that tracksuit, the matching belt and shoes. It's a Puma tracksuit.
Had she been wearing this all day?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just asking.
Does that make it bad because she's wearing it?
No.
No,
so-
she was wearing it all day.
Evelyn was wearing
She didn't get dirty,
Hey.
so I didn't change her.
a small,
A Puma
a Puma.
tracksuit, it's hot pink. You think she had a better marriage? And the shoes.
Huh?
With shoes that matched too.
Shoes were pink.
Mm-hmm. They were Puma shoes. They matched the tracksuit. Okay, so she takes her
What
dress.
time had you picked? So had old mommy had her that day?
Mhm. To be honest with you, that was one of the days, like, a mommy kept it for a little bit, and like, the babysitter kept it for a little bit, and I just can't, honest, God, never which one I picked her up from, but I think it was a mommy.
How did she get from old mommy to the babysitter?
I like work.
When?
I don't remember when, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, it's tired, I'm sleepy.
Who was the babysitter?
Sue.
You left work like around lunch or when?
It was after lunch. I really don't remember the exact time, to be honest with you.
You realize that's important though, right? I mean, these details are very important for us to try to find the child. Also kept it. I left work sometime.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay, so mom picks her up.
hold on. Evelyn. Sue's trailer, house, what's she live in?
I think it's a double wide. I think you consider it a double wide.
Home.
Oh, really? Yes. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Cool. Be very interested in that. Very interested. I'll show you the photo we were looking at from Teresia's because you missed it. There you go. Mr. Duck, Mr. Cookie, Pussy. It looks just divine. But would be freaking freezing. Isn't that cat cold? He's got snow all over him. Look. He's eating frozen food. Sorry, I've been I found another trial that's coming up at the end of February, and I'm yeah, just get him to let me know when he's done, and I'll sort something out. And I apologise. We were supposed to start the Tandem True Crime Tuesday tonight, but Tan's been having a difficult time as same as me. She's in quite a lot of pain, so yeah, we've postponed it another week. Poor bugger. She's, so yes, found out they don't. They've got different beaks. They've got like a chook beak. Quack, quack. How to describe it? You're just going to have to make the noise and record it. Hello. Good morning, gorgeous. How's your tooth, darling? We have missed you. Oh. Oh. You still won't let you touch him. Poor little man. I'd befriend him. I'd sit out in the snow all day until he came to me. No, I didn't. It was empty. The second one you sent, had nothing at all. I just double check, but no, don't believe, no, nothing. Except from Bob. Bob down.
Tell me this. Why did you have to pick her up from old mommy and take her to Sue's? Why from the change?
Mom would get tired watching it.
So did old mommy call you and tell you she was tired that day?
She's only just 7 years old.
So she called and told you, I'm tired, I can't watch her.
Mm-hmm. She never meant it in a bad way.
And when you called, that day,
Yeah, I used to do that too. Like, if I was somewhere and I was gone longer than I was supposed
she
to.
was tired and could not keep her any longer. That is why I took her to Sue. I left work to do that. Did you call Sue before you took her over there?
Renee, my phone was really Sue babysitter.
Huh?
Renee, my phone was
Oh.
really Sue babysitter.
Just get it delivered, darling. That's what I do.
So so then you must have picked her up from Sue that day.
Like I said, I really don't remember who had her first and who dropped her off.
I know, but at this point, we're confident that old mommy had her, that you picked her up and took her to Sue. You wouldn't have taken her back to old mommy at the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Okay, so you went and picked her up from Sue on that day.
Can you back how long?
We can as soon as we get this finished.
Okay.
All right, so what time did you pick her up from Sue?
Whenever I got off work.
Which was about what time?
Probably 6:30.
So you picked her up at 6:30. Anybody with you? Just you. Nobody at Sue's.
I don't know if her husband was there or not. I didn't see him. Sue still has everyone's back and play to Sue because some of the clothes.
From that day.
I haven't back in.
So you had taken that from old mommy's to over there that day?
My mommy never had to pack and play there.
Okay, so did Sue have this that day? She already had it?
Yeah, but it was everyone's pack and play. It's like pink, got flowers on it. Well, like the insert of the bed playpen is pink and it's got like the edges of it's like white and it's got pink roses on it.
Okay.
Like, have you seen a pack and play?
Mhm.
I'm assuming you have, okay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the design or whatever around it.
Yeah.
On the very top part, but that was part of the red pack and play. It's
Yeah.
just white. Pink roses.
Yeah, but Sue,
Already had pack and play.
Okay.
So that's it for it.
Yeah.
And some clothes.
so she had clothes, so,
Yeah. And she maybe had.
but you had dressed Evelyn that day, right?
Yeah.
In this Puma outfit.
Yeah.
So she didn't change clothes or anything like that.
Well, no, Sue still has clothes that I dropped off there for Evelyn.
No
They
problem.
still need to change.
So you pick up Evelyn,
Yeah.
right? 6:30. Did you call your mom from when you were going from Evelyn's house or Sue's house to your trailer?
Mhm.
Okay. Tell me this. Were you or were you not living with Hunter at the time?
On and off.
On and off.
I wasn't necessarily like living there, but I stayed there. I was there.
Oh, Anna, I hate that.
Okay, so mom takes Evelyn out. And we open the door. I'm like, okay.
So wait a minute. So your mom doesn't come inside. So is this conversation you're having with your mom, is it standing at the door?
She's like, we're on Mendota. I'm like, here's Evelyn's stuff, Bob. Like, it's really quick.
Okay, how far is Mendota?
I don't know, I've never been. How far is Mendota? Do you know?
I don't, the reason I'm asking though is did you ask like, does she need a toothbrush? Or not toothbrush, but does she need like overnight stuff?
I did send her over that stuff. My little sister girl not supposed to do this.
Okay, so you had a bag that you gave to your
It
mom.
wasn't a bag, it was a basket.
It was a basket.
It's blue. It had like diapers and I gave like some
Did
milk.
Will get out of the car and come with her to the door?
No.
Okay. So when my mom came to the door,
Mhm.
okay, were you planning on your mom keeping her that night?
Mhm.
Okay.
So I sent overnight stuff.
When mom came to the door, did you tell her that on the phone?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
She was aware. So I spent that day.
Came to the door. I gave her basket
Was it blue basket? Does that matter?
that was blue.
Does that matter at all?
It had overnight clothes.
Yeah. Well, anytime I ever took Evelyn anywhere, I sent with extra clothes. Dirty.
Clothes
Diapers, milk.
and extra clothes. It also had
You're really thorough.
and milk.
Yeah.
What kind of milk?
Almond milk.
Whole milk, not any kind of formula or anything like that. She just drank whole milk.
Yeah, around 9 months old, like she started spitting formula back up. So I switched her on whole milk. My pediatrician told me not to, but like she never spit up again and she was fine, so I just kept her on whole milk.
Whole milk. You put some kind of cold thing in there to keep the milk cold.
I gave it to her like out of the whatchamacallit, the fridge. I'm sorry, I'm half asleep. These girls me. I didn't remember.
Um, out of the fridge.
Should I not have done that?
I don't know. I don't know where she's going or what the deal was. So what did your mom say to you when she left?
That I didn't hear mom girl.
Okay. My mom said,
I didn't hear mom girl.
tomorrow, pick her up. So at some point, she's got to tell you where she's going.
No.
I know that, Megan, but it's important about how and when she told you. Did she tell you that at the beginning of the conversation while you were on the phone or at the door or at the end?
We were on the phone. She told me no one got me notice from mom.
Yeah. Her and Will, we're going to Mendoza. Okay. Now, did she say we're going over there to camp or to see somebody, or what did she say?
I never just assumed camp. I'm not gonna lie to you. They always camped over here. Will has a camper.
At Mendoza? What's it look like?
I've never seen it. To be honest with you. It's just a camper. I think it's at Jude's now. Or was it Jude's? Just Jude's.
What kind of camper?
A camper. I've never laid eyes on it to tell you that it was camper. Like what kind of camper it was or anything like that. I'm sorry.
Did your mom say we were going camping?
I don't know anywhere else you could stay in Mendoza.
I understand that, but what else did she say?
That was it. I was literally like, here's Evelyn, here's your stuff, see you, Bob. It was a quick exchange. It's like along like Holston River, I guess. That's what my dad told me.
How did your dad know?
Because my mom got like a trespassing charge. She like walked over property one day, like in Scott County. But he was like, that river flows through Mendoza. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Well, he knows what he's talking about. I guess. What time is it?
I'm not really sure. So, your mom leaves.
The next day she calls. And she's mad.
What time?
In the morning.
I mean, were you still in bed?
You know, that was it. Let's get ready.
You get ready for,
Where?
so what day was that?
The 15th and the 17th. like, you don't deserve Evelyn, you're bad mom. She's money better, it's gonna be better, everybody. She kept telling me stuff like, oh, like, you don't deserve her.
I said, Evelyn was with.
Somebody who played her family, she didn't have to do it. Do you think I was that mom?
I didn't say that. I don't know that anybody said that. You know why? Because we don't know what happened. And Megan, I'm not sitting here saying this isn't feasible, but I'm confident that you know more than what you're saying to me. That's all. I'm not sitting here saying this isn't. I'm confident that you know
I don't remember what
at the minimum, your mom has told you where this child is. At the minimum,
I think it's someone that would
take better care. Somebody who would take better care.
you know the day that you always have person.
Hello, madam.
Hi.
Oh.
You got just a minute?
Hang on. Let me just. There you go.
The Supreme Judicial Court just came back on Karen Reed.
What were they?
They denied
they-
her.
Denied her what?
They denied the having the jury come back and give their tallies, so she has to have a retrial. Just she gets L after L after L.
Mm. Why did it go to the Supreme? Why couldn't trial judge?
She did, and so they took it to the Supreme Court.
Did they say why?
They just said it was in the ruling, and because it was unprecedented and they had never heard a case like that before. To me, that's not a reason.
No, it's not. Doesn't mean they can't make it precedent.
Right. That's what they do. It's kind of their thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Fuck.
she says she's going to testify this time.
Really? Well, she's got nothing to
Yeah.
lose, has she? But then she's up against Brennan. Yeah.
He's better than Lally.
Yeah, but I don't like him. He's
I
sneaky.
don't like him either. I think he's kind of dumb as a prick. I'm sorry. I try not to call names, but
yeah, he's very, very sneaky, and I don't trust him. At all.
no, he is underhanded. Very underhanded.
And it only takes him to twist an answer
Yeah.
to the jury.
That's why they got him. That's exactly why they
Yeah.
got him.
Yeah,
Because if you look at
he
his
was a-
past trials, he does the same thing.
Mobsters. He defended mobsters. Yeah,
But anyway,
I don't like him at all.
well, I just had a minute. I didn't want to interrupt your trial. I just wanted to tell you guys that. Y'all have a good one. Love you
too,
munches.
darling.
Bye.
I love it when she pops by. All right, now let's go back and save this. Oh, that's terrible. Poor Karen. I don't like to see someone innocent get shafted, basically. I don't like to see someone guilty go free either, but that's not the case here. All right, let's go. Whereas this one here,
She kept trying to take me up there, and I told her, I was like, you just give her 10
I have
minutes,
opinions.
I'll go to the water,
They're not nice.
My ass up there with that one on my head and be like, it's not my dad, you don't want to see the baby.
Ah.
Think of some bullshit, and I was like, I will let them just see the baby.
It just-
Me too.
too-
I want you to listen to what you just said. Your mom kept trying to take you back up there.
But she wouldn't tell me why.
Megan, that is not feasible whatsoever.
Why do you think that's not?
Why would your mom say, I want to take you up there, but wouldn't say this is where
Well,
the
she wouldn't
kid
tell me
is?
that's where we were going. That's just where the road signs were pointing to. She was taking me somewhere way up in Virginia. And the road signs were like pointing towards Kentucky.
Okay. And you didn't go?
No, because she wouldn't tell me. She just kept telling me that I don't need to talk to you all, that I need to like go with her and just like leave the whole situation and stuff like that.
And she told you that You needed to know where the child was.
No, she never mentioned.
Why else would she be taking you?
She wouldn't tell me. I kept asking, she wouldn't answer me.
That makes no
And then I
sense.
told her that if she didn't take me and drop me off back up to her and talk to you when she read the press release, I was gonna call and be myself and do something.
She told me that somebody who would take better care, Evelyn was with somebody who would take better care of the child. She told you that next morning there.
No,
What?
and I didn't tell that one. That was a bad mom. I didn't support her. She told me she was reflected.
She told you what?
That her she was reflected.
At the person or the people?
The person she was reflected. That she was safe from what crazy. Then if I left my child, I let her have that water.
I love my child what?
I would let her have a better life. What should happen with me? That's all.
Did your mom bring you any money? Yes, sir.
The only time she's ever given me money is when we first started young and she gave me like $20 one time because I had that in the car was in your gas and her and I
No, I'm talking about this somebody. Okay.
No, she never gave me money.
What else did your mom do?
That's it. She just got me through saying like crazy over and over again. Just kept on saying I wanted everyone to have a good life and love them. Sorry.
I just want to know why you didn't tell us this in the first place.
Because whenever she's happier, she doesn't want to be with me.
Megan,
Everybody keeps telling me my bad mom should be better off with anybody but me.
I want to know something.
What?
Do you think Evelyn is alive? You do. Are you confident of that? You're shaking your head yes. Does that mean yes?
Yeah,
Megan,
just don't know what.
Megan, I want you to know something. If Evelyn is alive and she's okay, it's okay. Okay. And I even go back to the fact that if she's not, and something just accidentally happened, it happens. It's sad, but it happens. I can't go out here though and find this child, no matter how it is, and turn around and make it okay. If when I talk to the people, they say, Megan knew this. Do you understand that? And I'm telling you, that's more feasible than you don't know at this point because I've already told a couple of different stories. If you know where the child is, I need to put my hands on it so that I can help you with this. You need to tell me, honey.
I don't have an exact idea. I just think someone had been down in my mom was always asking.
If your mom hangs out with, tell me who your mom hangs out with.
Nobody else heard anything about the movie. No arguing.
What names do you know?
You're gonna have to be saying I think. There's like Travis, Tristan, Billy, Crystal.
These are all people in the know.
No. I don't know anybody that she knows in the My mom has a little like sketchy friends.
Right.
That move around a lot. Will has a lot of sketchy friends that move around a lot.
She's good at blaming everyone else, isn't she?
trying to help her. I'm just telling you, this is the problem. The only problem is that this is, I know that you want to sit here and say, hey, this first part or whatever, but if that story was true, there's no reason why you wouldn't have told me the whole thing or told those guys the whole thing the first time. Before I get up from this chair, I need to know every bit of this.
I'm telling you everything I know. Even when we started hanging out again, that's just all she told me.
You do realize, Megan, that I know that you sat in that seat up there and you told those guys the last time that was everything you knew, but it wasn't, was it?
I'm going to take a lot of that because I'm sorry. You get lost. You schedule in the morning. That's going to be at the bottom right after the day.
What are you going to do? This shows that you're not being truthful. What are you going to do?
I know that. I know.
See, I gotta sit here and believe you, honey. I also believe that you feel confident that your child is still alive.
Right? Was that a bad thing?
No. But what the bad thing is if you have an idea of where it's at and you're not telling me.
I know a general area.
All right, where?
They don't know. That's the general area.
You know what I mean.
Oh no, I don't know exactly like this section of Mendoza, like that one.
I feel pretty confident that your mom probably would have said she's here or she's with so and so.
She never gave me the name. The only coincidence I could think of it was really like, oh, that's weird. It's like that girl that mom used to hang out with just kind of disappeared, like almost exactly when it was. And the day mom got arrested, like she messaged him on Facebook and was back into like whatever. Oh, I've never said people, so it's person, like singular, not like.
Why isn't it? Would you have said that if you didn't know?
So, like,
Person?
no, she never said people. It was always person. It's always the person as it wasn't like, oh, the people were like, you know, it's always like one person.
Just listen. We'll go to the ends of the earth for this kid. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, lots of problems. If what you're telling me is a made-up story,
Okay.
you've done this twice.
Okay.
You can't do this.
Okay.
All right? I know you're young, but you're not an adult. And I'm willing to tear every word up and tear this paper off and take another statement from you and forget it.
I appreciate that.
I would sit right here because I don't want to see you at the age of 18 ruining your life. If an accident happened to this child, I'm willing to write it down. If you know where your child is, I'm willing to write it
Accidents
down.
never happened to Evelyn where she bruised her face or something while she was walking.
I'm willing to write down what happened. And if there's more that you know, I've got to know.
There's not. I just have theories and I told you that. Like
And
I
this
said,
is it.
that one girl that went missing around the same time Evelyn did, like my mom hung out
Do
with
you
her.
know the child to be with that girl?
No, but don't you think it's weird they went missing around the same time? And literally, like almost down to my mom was arrested. She talked to somebody.
What's the girl's name?
It's Lucy Staffy. Do I need to find her like home for me, Christy? Thank you, Lord. Can I ask you something?
Listen,
What if my mom told this girl that she was adopted Evelyn? Would you give her back? Because somebody there told me no. They thought that under the pretenses of adoption, you couldn't get it back.
I don't think your mom has the right to let her be adopted out.
Well, still,
Her name is what?
Lucy said it.
Spell Steffi.
I think it's Stefy maybe. I'm sorry if I spelled her last name wrong.
I was working at the chicken shack. Oh, mommy or the babysitter was keeping the child. I called my mom because I needed a break. This was sometime between December 14th and 16th. My mom came to my trailer. My mom had a phone, and the number is the number that Jude has
It was
now.
always Jude's phone. She used it. that matter?
It
They shared a phone.
was
Sorry, I didn't catch that one.
always Jude's phone. My mom shared it with Jude. Right? I got off work and went to the trailer. I had the 579 number. I called my mom on the way home from work. My car had Apple Play, and I called her from the car. I told her I just wanted a break.
Well, then I called from the babysitter's house, but to me, that's still away from work. So if you get down here, like, or we called from Sue's house, like, that means the same thing to me.
But you called her from the car, right? And on your phone. Okay. I told her I just wanted a break. My mom came to the trailer with Will McLeod in a small sedan. It was a dark car and it was dark outside. My mom did not come in the trailer. I handed Evelyn to her while she was outside. Evelyn was wearing a Puma track suit that was hot pink with a bow to match. The shoes were pink Puma and matched the suit. Old mommy had kept the child that day. The babysitter, Sue, also kept her that day. I left work sometime in the afternoon and picked up Evelyn. I took her to Sue's home that I think is a double wide. Right?
I mean, I don't know what you call it, it just looks like double line. But it's not, like, we did this.
Initial right here, so that I don't add anything to your statement.
Right here.
Yep. You see where I marked this out? Initial everywhere where I marked that and that out.
Above it?
Here's the initial right here where we added this. And initial right here at the bottom. So I'll add anything to your statement. All right. Old mommy called me that day and said she was tired and could not keep her any longer. That is why I took her to Sue. I left work to do that. I called Sue and asked her to keep Evelyn that day. I went to Sue's and picked up Evelyn after work, which is around 6:30 p.m. I called my mom on my way from Sue's to my trailer. When my mom came to the door, I gave her a basket that was blue. It had overnight clothes and extra clothes. It also had diapers and milk, which was whole milk. I gave my mom the milk right out of the fridge. My mom and I could meet her tomorrow. My mom said I could meet her tomorrow and pick her up. When I called her to ask her, I'm going to say it, Evelyn, and pick Evelyn up. When I called her to ask her to keep Evelyn, she told me that her and Will were going to Mendota. I assumed they were going camping because Will has a camper, and that is why I assumed that. My mom called the next morning. I was getting ready for work. It was either the 15th or the 17th. My mom said that I was a bad mom and that I did not deserve Evelyn. My mom said Evelyn was with somebody who would take better care of the child. My mom said I did not deserve Evelyn. She said I was a bad mom and could not support her. All that right? Where I mark things out?
Right here.
My mom said that the person she, Evelyn, was with loved her. My mom said she was safe and would not want for anything. My mom said that if I loved my child, I would let her have a better life than she would have with me. A friend of my mom's went missing around the same time Evelyn went missing. Her name is Lucy Steffi. Is that right? Initial right there at that. Initial at the very end. Now sign and date, please. Good question. 24. Okay.
Did you want to handle that?
Good question. Oh, 8 a.m. I'm pretty sure, I'm just thinking. Maybe. I'm not even touching the Navy before that.
No. She does take her dates wrong, but she can hold it. I know for a fact that she can hold it. Because I know nobody else to watch her except 2 people. Mom is also 78 years old. And calls me the wrong name almost every time I see.
I mean, I call my kids a whole name half the time. I
And my
don't think
dad-
there's anything wrong with my
And then
mind.
when I was going in and out of there, my dad's like, oh, I didn't see her after Thanksgiving. Like, he literally like actually has pictures of her after Thanksgiving. Or she used to, wherever that one time that she had.
I don't want to get up from this chair and miss any opportunity. I've got an 18-year-old daughter. It worries me that if I still get up from this chair and that there's more knowledge in your hand,
There's not.
that I can
If I
help
think
fix
of
that I can
anything-
help fix this problem
I'm not
that I
thinking,
can't get.
if I think of anything, I'm like, oh, like, you know,
I
I
need
just
to think
thought it
of it
was-
right now.
I can't think of what it was right now. It's just a 12-8 month thing.
Your child's missing. I'm worried about you. I'm worried about your child. Okay? Anything else? Sure.
Are you gonna increase me? Are you taking this home? This home?
I'll either take you home or get somebody. Give me just a minute.
You're gonna like a swap, like, you can swap.
Hold on.
Let's get it.
Go make it a good, safe ride home. $12:11 a.m.
Agent Wilhoit, we could kind of tell as you were speaking with Ms. Boswell, you writing that statement down
Yes, sir.
on a pad. Okay. Did you go over that statement with her?
Yes, sir.
Did you allow her to correct or make any changes to what you were writing down?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is that indicated on the statement as well?
Yes, sir.
All right. And at the end of the statement, did you have her sign and date it?
Yes, sir.
And did you sign and date it as well?
Yes, sir, I did.
And when you took this statement, you started talking with her, I guess, shortly before midnight on the 23rd.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? And then you finished, I believe you turned off the recording at 12:11 a.m. on the 24th.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Objection.
Agent Wilhoit, I'm going to hand you a document and ask you if you can identify it. You recognize it?
Yes, sir.
Is that a copy of the statement that you took from Megan Boswell on the February 23rd into February 24th of 2020?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you recognize her signature at the end of that statement?
Yes, sir.
And do you sign that as well?
Yes, sir.
Judge, we'd move to make that exhibit 229.
The full exhibit 229 over.
Agent Wilhoit, during the course of your all's investigations, you all ever receive or discover any evidence that Evelyn had been given to another person in Mendota, Virginia?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
If you would answer any questions Mr. Scott has for you.
Good morning, Agent Wilhoit. How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you?
Good. Thank you for asking. You took this statement on February the 23rd. It appears it started up into the night. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
How long had Megan been at the sheriff's department that day prior to that statement being taken? You know,
I don't.
did you Mirandize her?
No, sir.
The statement, the subject matter of the statement. Obviously, you're aware that several other statements have been taken from her.
Yes, sir.
You're in charge of the field office in Johnson City, basically, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means you review and sign off on everything that's done in every case.
In the field division. Yes, sir.
So everything that Agent Gratz is doing, you're reviewing and you're signing off on.
Yes, sir.
So you were aware that she had been interviewed several times prior to your interview.
Several being, I guess, I don't know, but yes, she had been interviewed prior to that, Mr. Scott. You are correct.
Okay. And your interview is essentially a continuation on the same subject matter of the prior interviews.
Could you repeat the question?
Your interview was a continuation of the subject matter of the prior interviews, being the disappearance of Evelyn Boswell.
Well, it was a different interview, but I guess I was questioning her about Evelyn, which I think was the subject of every interview.
Sure. That's all the questions I have, Judge. Actually, no, I can ask one more thing. Were you aware that the TBI had provided Megan with a cell phone on the 23rd?
I apologize, Mr. Scott. I can't recall that. I believe that was the case. Yes, but I don't know. I don't know the details of that. I'm sorry.
So you don't know that cell phone could have been used to track her to see if she went to the location after the 23rd where the body was found? If you know.
I don't.
That's all the questions I have, Judge.
Thanks, sir. Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
Is he free to go?
For the state is.
Judge, he is. I would ask that he be subject to recall, but free to leave the courthouse.
Agent Wilhoit, your testimony right now is over. However, you are subject to being recalled. You don't have to stay at the courthouse. Just make sure we can get a hold of him and get you here.
Yes, sir.
Right next.
Statement called Special Agent Paul Durant.
Raise your right hand, sir. State your name, please.
My name is Paul Durant.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I swear.
Please tell the jury your name and where you're employed.
My name is Paul Durant. I'm a special agent with the FBI assigned to the Johnson City RA.
Okay. And is your last name spelled D-U-R-A-N-T?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been employed in that capacity?
I've been employed with the FBI for about 5.5 years.
Okay. And you stated your title was special agent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell the jury a brief description of your current duties with the FBI?
So as a special agent with the FBI, I'm primarily assigned to investigate crimes against children. So anything with sexual exploitation, kidnapping, human trafficking, things of that nature.
Okay. Can you give the jury a brief summation of your education?
Yes. So I have a bachelor's degree in finance that I attained from the University of Central Florida. I have a second bachelor's degree in biomedical science, which I also attained from the University of Central Florida.
Okay. And during the time you were employed with the FBI, were you asked to aid in the investigation of missing child Evelyn Boswell?
I was.
What were you tasked with doing at that time?
So the FBI in general was tasked with supporting our local and state partners. We did anything from interviews to phone extractions to assisting interviews outside of the state. primarily my responsibility was reviewing all of our documentation and looking for any patterns and things like that.
Okay. When you say documentation, are you referencing digital documentation or other items?
Mostly digital documentation, as well as like interviews and notes and stuff like that from the other investigative agents.
Okay. And from the time you first assisted until now, have you continued to receive training in the area of forensic examination of digital devices?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Can you tell the jury briefly what type of training you've received?
I received training through the FBI as part of the computer analyst response team technician, as well as the digital evidence examination technician.
Okay. When you say response team, what does that mean exactly?
Essentially, like any of the response teams, are teams that can be deployed. We can go to search warrants. For example, like we call it CART for short. The CART team would join investigative agents in the field. We would examine any computers that were on and available during the time, as well as cell phones, and then bring those back to our office for further examination and extraction.
So CART is short for Computer Analysis Response Team?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been a part of that team?
I believe about 3 years now.
Okay. And have we sufficiently covered your training regarding digital evidence, or is there anything else you would like the jury to know?
So that's the majority of my training with digital evidence.
Does the FBI utilize forensic digital evidence equipment to aid you in your investigations?
Yes. So we have several different forensic softwares that are FBI approved, as well as specific devices to help us extract and image electronic devices.
Okay. And we'll briefly go into what the FBI utilizes. When it comes to cellular devices like telephones, what would a digital analysis entail regarding cell phones?
So regarding cell phones, we do what we call extractions of cell phones. So we use a forensic software to extract different data from the cell phones. There's several different extraction methods that you can use. 3 main ones. The first one is kind of a logical extraction. Essentially what that does is we ask the cell phone, what can you provide us? And the cell phone will provide us X data. The next analysis that we can do or extraction that we can do is called a file system extraction. That's kind of where our software goes into the cell phone and then tries to pull as much data as we can from that cell phone. The last extraction that we can perform is called a physical extraction. Essentially, that is a bit-for-bit copy of whatever that electronic device is.
Okay. And just so we know, when you say extraction, do you mean taking the information off of that device to be able to utilize what you're looking at?
By extraction, yes, we don't take anything physically off of that device, but we make a copy of those items on that device and put it onto another, like electronic storage media. Okay. So we're not changing anything on the device. We have different methods that ensure that we have made a what we call a forensic copy of that device.
So it's essentially a copy of what was on that device.
Correct.
Okay. And you've done this a little bit. Can you tell the jury how that's done? How does a technician take that copy from a cellular device and put it into another place?
Yeah. So we'll connect that electronic device up to like our computers and our forensic extraction software. We use things like write blockers to ensure that no information from our devices or our computer is transferred over to the cell phone. Once the data is extracted from that device, we'll go ahead and ensure that a copy has been made, a forensic copy. We do that through hash verification. There's 2 different ones that we use. One is MD5 hash, and the other one is SHA-256 hash. Essentially, what a hash is like a fingerprint of that electronic device. It just shows that we made a exact forensic copy of that content. Once that content is created, we transfer that to another electronic storage medium, whether that's a USB drive, whether that's just any kind of external media drive. And then we run a hash verification to ensure that that copy was not altered during that transfer process.
Okay.
That is typically what is done as best practice.
Okay. Can you tell the jury what types of You have just a moment, Your Honor. Okay. Agent Durant, have you previously performed digital analysis of cellular telephones?
Yes.
Have you previously performed analysis of social media extractions from search warrants?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, we would ask that he be made an expert in the area of forensic analysis of digital devices.
You
Sir,
just
how long
asked
have
me
you been
what
employed by
it-
the FBI?
I've been employed by the FBI for about 5.5 years, since September of 2019.
And in that time, how many times have you been qualified as an expert in court? Or have you?
I don't believe I've been qualified as one as per a digital evidence extraction. So I've been qualified in the areas of child investigation, like child crime investigations.
But as far as digital forensics, you have not been qualified previously.
No, I don't believe so.
And if we could go back to your training, if you would go over that again with me, specifically as it relates to digital forensics, what training do you have?
In terms of digital forensics, so I have two trainings that I pretty much attended to. One was the computer analyst response team technician. Essentially, that is the one that I explained, that you kind of go out there and you're able to collect those electronic devices and then kind of take them back, prepare to do like the digital extraction portion.
Okay. And how long was that course?
So that course was 2 weeks.
Okay. What other training do you have?
So I also am authorized as a digital evidence examination technician. Essentially what that one is that's the actual like extraction process of being able to extract the data and search through the data for information, evidence of crime.
Did you go to a course for that?
Yes.
How long was that course?
It was about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks.
Yeah. So
Other-
both courses were 2 weeks long.
You have specialized training in the software you're using?
In the software?
Yes.
Yeah, we were shown how to use the software, and we use that software in our cases.
When you say you were shown how to use the software, what type of training do you actually have with the software?
That was part of that training program where we actually get the software, we review what the software can do, and then we use that in order to extract digital evidence.
And your formal education background is a degree in finance and a degree in biomedical science.
Yes.
Anything? Do you have any formal education as far as college or anything like that as it relates to digital forensics, downloading phones, so forth?
No college experience with that now.
Thank you. Good approach.
Computers, probably about another 20 for computers in terms of like laptops, external hard drives, and things like that.
General, what room were you asking if you had any qualifying?
In forensic analysis of digital devices.
I'm gonna overrule the defendant's objection. He'll be declared to be an expert in forensic analysis of digital devices
Thank you, Your Honor.
based on his training and his
Okay. So we're going to back up just a few questions back to the cellular. I believe you were testifying as to the cellular phone analysis and software that the FBI used. I believe we talked about the types of data that can be, and I think that was actually my next question. When we're talking about cellular phones or cellular devices, Can you tell the jury what types of data can be obtained from an extraction of a cellular device?
Yes, so extractions of cellular devices can provide a lot of different data, such as images, videos, text messages. You can do web searches, GPS, pretty much anything that could be stored on a cell phone can be found through an extraction of the cell phone.
Okay. And is every cell phone the same, or are you able to obtain duplicate copies of, like, say, two individuals have Facebook on their phones? Do you always get full records on each device, or can that be different depending on the device itself?
It really depends upon the device, depends upon what the software update is. If some have older software versus newer software updates, there's a lot of different factors that can play into what can be extracted from an electronic device. In terms of social media, when you're extracting social media information from the device, it's only the information that is found on it. So a lot of social media companies will store stuff in like the cloud or off of your cell phone. So when you do an extraction, you may only get a couple of days of social media conversations. You may get more, you may get less, you may not get any at all. It really just depends upon the extraction method used and the data that was stored on the actual electronic device.
Okay. Do you also, as part of your training and experience, also analyze social media extractions based on search warrants?
Yes.
Okay. Do those tend to offer more information than pulling social media directly from a cellular device?
Yes. So information that you obtain through a search warrant for a social media company is going to have a more complete record of the conversations and the activity on that account, as opposed to one that is pulled from an electronic device.
Right. And can you tell the jury why that is?
So kind of like I stated before, the information that you're going to get from extraction of an electronic device is only going to be the information that's found on that device when you do the extraction. So so one of the things that we do when we do an extraction is we put, like, for example, the cell phone in airplane mode. And in airplane mode, the cell phone is not able to communicate with any of the servers, the social media servers. So it's just whatever's on that device at that time is what you can get. However, when you do legal process through social media, they have access to all the information that they would store. All that information that would be on a cloud account can then be provided to law enforcement through legal process.
Okay. You may have already asked this when the judge asked you these questions. Have you previously performed a digital analysis of cellular telephones?
Yes.
Have you also performed analysis of computers?
Yes.
And what about social media extractions from search warrants?
Yes.
And were you provided with digital extractions in the case we're here on today?
I was.
Okay. Do you know what types of digital extractions you were provided with?
Yes. So the two main ones were a few cell phone extractions as well as social media search warrant returns.
Okay. Were any of those directly linked to the defendant, Megan Boswell?
Yes.
Okay. What were you specifically asked to do with the information that you were given?
I was asked to review the social media search warrant proceeds from Ms. Boswell's Facebook account and Instagram account.
Okay. And tell us what proceeds are.
Proceeds. So when you submit a search warrant to social media companies, essentially what they send you back is the proceeds of that warrant. So when I say search warrant proceeds, I mean all the information that's Facebook or Instagram or any social media has provided the law enforcement officer.
Okay. And were you actually able to perform an analysis on the defendant's social media that was provided to you?
Yes, I reviewed both the Facebook and Instagram accounts.
Okay.
Everyone stand.
Oh, Lord.
These, but also under Rule 9, fill the notice requirement. Well, first, the state of Tennessee has fulfilled the notice requirement by filing a written notice of intent to introduce these documents, and we were not at any time notified by the defense that they were going to be opposing these. But also under Rule 902, it falls under a self-authenticating documents because it is records of regularly conducted activity, and the case law is clear that a self-authenticating affidavit is sufficient on being able to bring these records in.
Judge, as it relates to pretrial notice, my reading of Rule 12 of the Tennessee Rules of Criminal Procedure basically sets out 5 things that must be raised pretrial:
Hello,
defects
Dylan.
in institution of the prosecution, defect in the indictment, so forth, motion to suppress, request for discovery, and a motion to sever. None of those things include this. I've objected because that affidavit is not an affidavit; it's a statement, and it should be sworn to in front of someone who is qualified to give an oath. And for it to qualify under 902, I think it has to be an actual affidavit sworn to by someone qualified to give an oath.
So they're arguing over whether or not this guy can be deemed an expert. Is that what I'm understanding?
Your Honor, if you would like, we would be happy to provide you with a case that allows for this document to be sufficient. It's on page 16.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
You get that copy.
You have a copy.
I'm trying to find it. Yep.
All right, let's zippity doo a bit more. The judge has got a twitch with eyebrows.
First day of January 2025. It was filed February 3rd at the clerk's office. It included a copy of the certificate of authenticity of domestic records of regulated connected activity. Mr. Scott is correct. It does not appear on this document a notary from the state of California. I do know that in every other respect that the certificate of authenticity complies with both Rule 803, 6, and 902, 11. And the certificate of authenticity declares under penalty of perjury that the certificate is true and correct to the best of this person's knowledge. And it has the logo of Facebook on the document itself. I'm looking at the case that was handed up, State versus Benitez, 2022 Westlaw 123-1075. Quoting State versus Ferguson, 741 Southwest 2nd, 125. The circumstances must only show with reasonable assurance the identity of the evidence. And the court satisfied that this certificate complies with that standard. So I'm going to overrule the objection and the state of it will continue. We'll take about 10 more minutes of break. So.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that takes us up to live. So they're still on a break. Shouldn't be too long, I wouldn't think, given that was 9 minutes and 25 seconds ago. I was just having a look around. There was a trial that I thought started today, but it wasn't. It's pre-trial today. It actually starts on the 24th, and it's in Texas. And it involves a freezer. Okay. Yes. So I'm looking at that one. Sounds interesting. Body of missing woman found inside refrigerator. Sounds familiar. I think we covered one of those a few months ago. Was it Finnegan? Something? He looks a bit surprised, doesn't he? Oh, what? In my freezer? Wow. But there is some, where is it? They show the removal of said freezer. Where's the restaurant? There we go. Looks a bit spicy, doesn't it? Armed guard. Let's get the bear cat in. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to look into that a bit more. It looks bizarre. Why would they have to get that in? Yeah. Just saying. So that one might be on the cards. I think that might be just about, what's that, 12 days. So really it's 10. Yeah, I reckon it'll start probably as this is wound up. Because I think this one was supposed to be at least a couple of weeks long, I think. I think it was supposed to be a decent time. Because I haven't even got to the medical examiner or anything yet. I'm on day 6 of the state's case. So, there's that. So how much rain are you supposed to get, Tricia? Like, is that going to wash all that snow away and make it a big slushy mud puddle mess? You poor bugger. Oh, I see a bald head popping around. Oh, I had my appointment today to get the results, x-rays back, and she's not really 100% sure that went very clear, so they're trying to get me in to have basically a full spinal and pelvis MRI done. So I will hear back. She's going to do that in the morning for me to see what she can organise. So yeah, fun. So I'm no closer to having any answers, really. on, Judge. Pull your finger out. Oop. Looks like the prosecutor's head. Oop. Oh, what else have we got coming up? Oh, we're going to do some more tomorrow night on Naziah Harris. If you haven't seen the, I separated the messages into 3 because it was pretty much like over 2 hours worth of the lead investigator just reading out these text messages between Jarvis and Naziah. So I sort of cut them up into 3 and posted them separately as a video so that you could listen to a little bit here, a little bit there. But the third one is probably the worst. Yeah. They almost like amp up, but the third one is the one that pertains to the day she went missing. Actually, I did a video up. Where was it? There was an audio recording that I found of Jarvis's brother that had a completely different scenario, basically, than what has been charged. Yeah, and alleges quite a lot of stuff. And as I've watched the case come through and listened to the text messages and follow the timeline, so there might be a little bit of truth to it. So I don't know if I actually put it up, did I? Let me see if I can add it. You get a sneak preview of it before I load it up. As it goes through, he's trying to work out the timeline of where he was and what he was doing.
Okay, well, we got this from the phone extraction data. And we're going to focus on the timeline of what Jarvis was doing. So Cordell said that Jarvis and Naziah were alone at the shop. Jarvis checked in at the motel, the Park Crest Motel, at 9:30. So the motel's address was 20,000 Harper. Now we can't account for about 45 minutes of time. There's 45 minutes unaccounted for. What was he doing? Could something horrible have happened at the shop? Did they test anything there? Did they check anything? Was any evidence collected?
Can you tell this is my draft?
So between 8:45 and 9:30, we
My
don't know what
prep
he was
for
doing.
Saturday.
So at 8:48, he was on Wiltshire near one of his homes. So at 9 p.m, he drove to another girlfriend's house, which was Latricia, and he
Baby
there
mama.
did the car swap with her, telling her that he needed to take his son somewhere, so he left in her blue Nissan. Apparently, sometimes he used to park his car down the road and walk around the corner. But it was very close to the shop. He could walk there. So from there, he leaves his baby mama, one of his girlfriends, and goes to another girlfriend's. Now, we know that he's got lots and lots of girlfriends, But this also ties back into his brother's audio recording about him trying to create an alibi. Is it true? Is it not true? But it kind of makes a bit of sense. Now, we also know that Naziah was most likely in that blue Nissan because the baby mama found some glasses in the back seat that were identical to what Naziah was wearing.
So there's that. So if we listen back to, oops, dickhead. If we listen back to the audio from the brother,
hotel to try some antifreeze or whatever he's gonna try to get rid of the baby. He gave that to her, you know what I'm saying, and trying to do whatever he could do. She was feeling sick or whatever. Alright, so he gets in the car, drops her off, to go back home. Alright, when she gets out to go home, she go in the house. Shannon didn't get into her, whether they didn't call and see if she's at Jarvis' house, because Shannon.
Alright, so this is his theory that Shannon finds out about Naziah and her pregnancy and loses her shit.
I already knew she was at Jarvis' house because she called to get directions earlier that day. Hotel to try some antifreeze or whatever he's gonna try to get rid of the baby. He gave that to her, you know what I'm saying, and trying to do whatever he could do. She was feeling sick or whatever. Alright, so he gets in the car.
And that also, that ties back into the messages. There's messages in, there's Google searches on his phone for the antifreeze.
Go back home. Alright, when she gets out to go home, she go in the house. Shannon didn't get into her, whether they didn't call and see if she was at Jarvis' house, because Shannon already knew she was at Jarvis' house because she called to get directions earlier that day while she's at school. So when she get back, they get fussing at her for going up to Jarvis' shop and calling fast and this and that. Then it all came out, confirming that she was pregnant, was Jarvis' baby, and Shannon lost it. Shannon lost it real bad and jumped on Naziah, beating her, hitting her in the head with some object right there in the house that they overlooking, and killed Naziah because she was already probably having complications. Remember, from whatever they've been giving her to try to get rid of the baby. Remember, she was sick earlier that day and on the floor. Instead of them calling the nurse, they called the counselor. School failed. So once Shannon beats on it, she passes out, she dies right there. So they panic. So they get her, the twin sister, help Shannon get her into the mama car, and they go and meet Jarvis. Meet Jarvis out there by where the other girlfriend lives. And Jarvis was going to all these different houses at his different girlfriend house, establishing his alibi. Because he knew what had happened between her and Shannon, that he had nothing to do with it, but knew that he was also the last person to see with her and probably would be questioned too about her being alive.
So it's just interesting that pertains back to his timeline of events and what he actually did and where his phone pinged and curious. Come on, let's have some sound. Ready, please? Ooh. Come on, Judge. Oh. Sound. Ready, Mr. Cameraman? We want some sound, please. Oh, the folks don't have sound.
Yes.
Was them, not
Okay.
me.
And can you tell the jury why something like this is important pursuant to an investigation?
Essentially, why this is important is it shows that the records that we received for the specific count we received it from are accurate.
Okay. All right, that can be passed back down. Thank you. To your knowledge, do you know who owns Instagram?
Yes, Instagram and Facebook are both owned by Meta.
Okay. And were you able to conduct an analysis on Facebook and Instagram records of the defendant, Megan Boswell? And were these records obtained via a valid search warrant for those records?
Yes.
Sorry.
In reviewing, I guess let me ask you this. Were you able to review all of the information, not just the Facebook and Instagram records, but all of the information that you were provided?
You just have to come up on stage and say them, you'd have. Instead of typing them.
Regarding digital evidence in this case?
Yes, I reviewed a number of different phone extractions as well as search warrant returns.
Okay. Based upon this, were you able to identify conversations pertinent to this investigation?
Yes.
Have you identified and reviewed those in preparation for court today?
Yes.
Mm. Absolutely. You just got to look at the. You've got to look at the demographics over there and the culture, the ingrained culture in the community. I mean, Shannon knew his status, knew that he was a sexual offender, and he was on the register, and still allowed those kids to go to that workshop that was, I don't know if you saw the photos, I think I put them up, and, you know, a fairly remote, isolated, you know, had nothing around it. So I think there's a lot of factors at play that let her down big time. And I'd really like to do a, I was saying, I think it was yesterday to Anna and Teresia, I'd like to address it as an educational thing on how to empower our, you know, young girls, how to, not how to, but like the importance of giving them their sense of self-worth and, you know, because all I saw in those text messages was a lonely little girl looking for attention, and she looked in the wrong place. And if we can prevent that, then these predators don't have the control over them. So, yeah, that's in the back of my mind anyway. Another thing. It takes their power away. Yeah, absolutely. Education is the key. And yeah, if they think they're not, if they have enough confidence in themselves and enough self-worth and enough information on these type of people, when they start getting text messages like that, like you're sending 10 text messages and you're getting one back, and it's only when you mention sex, you know, that's red flag stuff for me, and that should be for them as well. And they should just, I'm not putting up with that behavior. See you later. Type of thing. It gives them the power to make better choices. What are they doing now? This court wastes so much time.
Take a look and see if you recognize that.
I do.
Okay. And what is it?
So there are conversations that were located on Miss Boswell's Facebook account.
Okay. And is it a conversation between the defendant and someone else?
Yes.
And who is the other person?
It is Haley Spiro.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation that you reviewed on Megan Boswell's Facebook search warrant extraction?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell me the date of that conversation?
This was on December 8th, 2019.
Your Honor, at this time, we would ask that be admitted as exhibit number 231.
Motion.
Approach up here for just a second.
And Agent Durant, is this the conversation we were just discussing?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell me what the defendant states right after it shows that she called Haley on the phone?
So the defendant states, I'll have to double check with her dad as her, or her dad has her, but I should have an extra.
Okay.
And then it goes to, I don't think I sent them all with him, but then again, I might have because I'm irresponsible.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, those will be subject to my prior objection before it's overruled.
I'm going to pass you two documents. We're going to go through them one at a time. You could look first at the one with the earliest date on it, please.
Okay.
And do you recognize that document?
I do.
And can you tell me what it is?
So it's a conversation between the defendant, I believe it was Alexia Roop.
Okay. And what's the date of that conversation?
December 18th, 2019.
Okay. And then for the second page that I handed you, who was the conversation with on that second page?
So this one was, and also a conversation from that Facebook social media proceeds, also between the defendant and Alexia Roop.
Okay. And what is the date of that conversation?
That is December 27th of 2019.
And are those both fair and accurate representations of the conversations that you reviewed on the defendant's Facebook search warrant extraction?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd ask that those be made as separate exhibits for the 12/18 date, exhibit number 232, for the December 27th date, exhibit number 233.
For the full exhibit subject to the defendant's prior objection.
Thank you.
Thank you. Permission to publish. Okay, first we'll go to the December 18th message. Alexia Roop says, so I'm probably never going to get this money, am I? LOL. And what does the defendant say?
The defendant says, I'm really sorry. I've been busy. I've been so busy. My child's father took her from me, and it's been one thing after another. And I'm sorry I've not been able to meet and stuff. Sundays are my only day off and the only time I really have to meet.
And next, we'll go to the December 27th conversation.
Mhm.
Alexia says to the defendant, you never sent it. And what does the defendant say?
Defendant says, I honestly have to get a new one, have to go get a new one. Can I give you my social? And you try that card. I put money on it again.
And then Alexia says, yeah, I can try. And what does the defendant say?
I'm sorry. I'm just so busy and like in a custody fight with Evelyn's dad right now. And I'm exhausted, to be honest with you. And I'm trying to keep up with everything as is. I'm really hoping we can get that prepaid card figured out.
Okay. Pass you one page and ask if you recognize it.
I do.
Okay, can you tell us what it is?
It's another conversation from the Facebook warrant between Miss Boswell and Jesse Rosenbaum.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate? Let me ask you, what is the date of that conversation?
It's January 13th, 2020.
Okay, is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation as you saw it on that social media extraction?
Yes.
Okay, we'd ask that be made exhibit number 234.
234.
Permission to publish. Okay. If you could tell us what the defendant says on January 13th of 2020.
So the defendant says, I lost custody of Evelyn to Ethan, and I've been in a mood. I really don't want to deal with their shit right now. I've not told anyone but you that. He told me our court date was a different date than what it was, and I didn't know, so I was late to it.
Okay. And then Jesse Rosenbaum says, damn, that sucks. Effed up shit. You could call a retrial. And then what does Megan say?
I'm trying to. I've not even told anyone that happened yet. I just don't want to deal with them, you know. And then she also says, like they always drag me into their problems, then bitch at me for being in their problems after they put me in the middle. LOL.
Okay. And you 2 pages. Ask the same thing if you can recognize them.
I do.
Okay. And can you tell us what it is?
It's a conversation between Christopher Hall and Miss Boswell.
Okay. And the date of that conversation?
January 26, 2020.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of how that looked when you analyzed Megan Boswell's Facebook extraction?
Yes.
We would ask that be made exhibit number 235.
What was it, 235? What was that?
January 26, 2020. Permission to publish? Okay. So Christopher Hall asks, how's Evelyn? And what does the defendant say?
Defendant says, good, mean as fuck.
And he says, aw. And what does Megan Boswell say?
She says, she hates me.
Okay. May we approach, Your Honor? Okay, I'm going to pass you 2 pages. And ask if you can identify that.
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us what it is?
So it's this was a conversation on Facebook between the defendant and the Miss Shirley Lowry.
Okay. And what was the date of that conversation?
This was February 18th, 2020.
Okay, is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation from the defendant's Facebook extraction?
Yes.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 236.
What was it, 236?
Permission to publish.
Go ahead.
Okay. For the first page of this, I'm trying to get a little bit bigger. Can you just read to the jury what the defendant says on February 18th, 2020?
So the first message that comes through is hello, question mark. The next message is, if you want to know what's going on, I couldn't bring Evelyn over because Ethan wouldn't let me pick her up and I have court in the morning. I'm sorry, and I hate to be rude about this, but you don't have any rights to my child, and what goes on between me, her, and her dad stays between me, her, and her dad. So the following message is, I have court in the morning to set up a specific plan where he has her 1 week and I have her another.
Okay. And is that conversation, let me make it smaller. Okay. And then for the record, there's a photograph there, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and what does the defendant say after that photograph?
She says, this was her when I saw her last weekend, and then follows up with, if dad didn't flip out when I come on the property, I'd bring her by. Not that it's any of your business though, and don't involve anyone else in it.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that up for just a second because I want to ask you some questions about this photograph. So again, we're looking at the date, February 18th, 2020. Is that right?
Yes.
And that's the date the message was sent to Shirley Lowry.
Yes.
Okay. Were you able to determine, based upon your analysis of the defendant's Facebook, is that picture an accurate representation of being taken the weekend before February 18th of 2020?
No.
Can you tell me how you know that picture is an old picture?
While reviewing the conversations from the search warrant proceeds, I located that same photo, which was sent to Ethan on November 30th of 2019.
Okay. Okay. Same thing. I'm going to ask if you're able to identify that.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me what it is?
It's a conversation between Kristen Arnett and the defendant.
Okay. And is there a date on that conversation?
February 22nd, 2020.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation between the defendant and Kristen Arnett on that date from her Facebook proceeds?
Yes.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 237.
237.
Permission to publish. I'll try to make this one a little bit bigger. Christian Arnett says, honey, I pray that you come out of this. I pray you and that baby are both safe. All you got to do is be honest, honey. I'm praying so hard for you. And what does the defendant say in response?
I am being 100% honest and trying to help find my baby. I was scared of the person who took her. Thank you.
Okay, pass you a document. Do you recognize that document?
I do.
Okay, what is it?
This was a conversation between the defendant and Hunter.
Hunter Wood.
Hunter Wood, yes.
Okay, and is there a date for that conversation?
There is. It's December 27th of 2019.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation as you viewed it during your analysis?
Yes.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 238.
Exhibit 238, subject to trial.
And permission to publish. Okay. You can just tell us what the defendant says to Hunter Wood on December 27th and December 28th?
On December 27th, the defendant says, text me again so I have your number. I ended up just swapping phones with her. And then follows on with, hey, I'm going to leave here soon. Ethan and I talked and he's going to stay home. And then is followed by, he thinks that what would be best, also because I'm obviously not a very stable parent right now, and Evelyn doesn't want to come home with me.
Okay.
Not very organized, lady. It wasn't even true. It was after December. Like, it's just lies. She wasn't even alive then.
Okay, same question.
Yes, I recognize this.
Can you tell me what it is?
So it's a conversation between the defendant and Hunter.
Okay, and what is the date of that?
The date of this one is February the 19th of 2020.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation that you viewed pursuant to your analysis of the defendant's social media?
Yes.
Okay, we'd ask that be made exhibit number 239.
Full exhibit 239, subject to
And permission to publish. If you could read to the jury each of these text bubbles from the defendant to Hunter Wood on February 19th of 2020.
Yes. It says, hey, I have no clue why you're mad at me, but I've been waiting for mom for fucking hours at the BP. Can I please come sleep in your truck if I get a ride there? And she says, like, seriously, I've done nothing. I've not done anything for you to be mad at me. I love you, and I was supposed to leave so long ago, and I tired as fucking hell. I'm also pregnant with your child, so you could let me sleep in your truck. I'm gonna just come anyways and sleep in it when I can find a ride. I'm so tired, and I needed you tonight, but thank you, Hunter. I might just say fuck it and come in. And then she tried to call and Hunter missed a call. And then the final one is I've tried to call.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to pass you 7 pages. Take a moment to look through that. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to view that exhibit?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me what it is?
So it's a conversation between the defendant and Hunter.
Okay. Hunter Wood?
Hunter Wood. Yes.
Okay. And is there a date on that conversation?
Yes. February 22nd of 2020.
Okay. And is that also a fair and accurate representation of the conversation as you viewed it when you did an analysis of the defendant's social media?
Yes.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 240.
He collected exhibit 240, subject to court's trial.
Permission to publish.
Go ahead.
We're just going to go through it page by page.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. What does Megan Boswell start out saying on February 22nd of 2020?
The defendant states, "Hey, I texted you just so that you know it's really me."
And Hunter Wood says, change your Facebook name. And what does the defendant say?
"I will in a few. Will you please bring me a change of clothes? TBI is in North Carolina with my mom. Literally, I don't care what clothes are. I just don't have anything at the moment."
And Hunter said, they said there was no baby with her, though. I'm at my mom's. And what does the defendant say?
"She's still under arrest and being questioned. Can you please do that for me, though?"
And then Hunter says, yeah, but where's the baby? I just want the baby to be found safely. And what does the defendant say?
"Dad won't let me go anywhere because of the situation. Hunter, I can't disclose stuff to you on here about what TBI is doing."
Then Hunter says, but please assure to me that the baby will be found and brought home safely. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Then what does, I'll scroll down in a second. What does the defendant say in response to that?
"Hunter, I have full faith in the TBI and everyone I've spoken to that they will get the truth out of my mom and bring my baby back to me. Can you come talk? ? Or your mom ? I just can't disclose anything much more over the internet at this point in time or over the phone. And I hope you can understand that."
Okay, I'll move that up a little bit. And if you could continue.
If you don't want to, I'll speak to your mom and she can tell you. Also tell her thank you for reporting the car missing. If mom has told you anything that is off-putting, please let me know. If she told you anything at all, please tell me, please, anything at all. Did she ever mention Mendota to you? She kept trying to take me there and I'm trying to find a ride up there to go looking.
Okay. Oh, this one's smaller. Okay. And what does the defendant, I guess it's a continuation from the last page. What is she saying?
"So please let me know if you know anything about Mendota. I know it's late, but can you take me somewhere in Mendota, along a river? Mom used to talk about it.
And Hunter says, get your dad or TBI to take you. And what does the defendant say?
I can't get a hold of David, and there's no way in hell Dad will take me.
Okay. And then what does the defendant say?
David's not replying to me, probably because they're down in North Carolina dealing with my mother.
And then Hunter Wood says, I'll contact Chris Wilhoit and see what he says to do. And what does the defendant say?
Who is that? I don't know exactly where it is.
And Hunter says, the leading TBI agent. What does the defendant say?
I just know a river in Mendota. Someone told Dad they wanted to talk to him.
Okay. And then what does the defendant say?
Same place Mom got arrested for trespassing in Scott County, Holston River.
And then Hunter says, what does that have to do with the baby? And what does the defendant say?
Only place I know she might be connected with in Mendota. Dad is on the phone with someone right now. Something about who reported the car she saw. She says she would only talk to Dad and that she had important information.
Okay. And what does she say on that last message?
Dad's on the phone with her recording the call.
This is the last page. I might have to make this one a little bit bigger. And then Hunter says, what did they say? And what does the defendant say back to Hunter?
She said my mom dropped the baby off behind a church 3 days ago. They're looking into the church thing right now. She said a church off 394. I think she said Feathers Chapel. Dad talked to her. Not sire, but I'm losing my shit right now and have no one. I have to find Evelyn now. It's been 3 days already. What if she's cold and hungry?
Okay. And then what does she say? Let me go up a little bit with where it starts. Hunter, please.
Hunter, please. No one will take me to look for her mom. Had to have dropped her off somewhere. Please help me find my baby. And she continues, says, if you won't take me, I'm literally going to steal a car. I don't care. I'm sitting at Food City with the cops. Hunter, if she dropped her off 3 days ago, time is ticking fast. And she says, hey, TBI has some sort of update. I'm about to head up there now. I'll let you know. I'll let you and Melissa know. And then she ends with, are you up? ?
Okay. Thank you. Your Honor, may we approach?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have you go with the officer. I've just been informed your lunch is here. We'll start back at, probably 1:15.
Everyone stand.
And of course. All right, what I might do is set up another stream to start after the lunch break. And yeah, because it's what, an hour and 20 minutes away still. So go do what you need to do. Make yourself a cuppa, have something to eat, put your feet up, chill. And I'll set up another stream for part 2 after lunch. Alrighty, I shall see you then. Bye.
Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule at the defense rests. Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule at the defense rests.